Laugh all you want, my friends, but I missed Russian snow, especially seeing it like this in this another crazy episode from Vitalson channel. Thank you very much, спасибо большое, ребята. Ссылка на ваш канал всегда внизу в моем описании этого видео. Just saying my thanks to the original authors. This is another translated and adapted video for English-speaking audiences because there is no chance you're gonna see off-road like this. We already had a very fun video from Vitalson and his team to see how Tank 300 and other cars rushed through the Russian mud pits and stuff like this. Today you're looking at Russian snow. So we will see a bunch of cars that are going to try and climb a couple of different very snowy hills somewhere in the depths of Russia. Okay? And as you saw in the description of the video and in the title, Dodge Ram is gonna surprise everyone. But there are a lot of other surprises in this video, and I will again do my best to translate the excitable Vitalson and his team as they kind of throw in random comments here and there, what these cars are about, how they drive them, that kind of stuff throughout this video. Enjoy, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep watching how the crazy Russians are driving through the snow. So the boys here get started by testing capabilities of Jeep Wrangler 3-door version. It's a JK, it's not a JL, and interestingly enough, the driver here is, surprise also called Dmitry. So Dmitry first tries to get the Wrangler up the hill and says, you know, I'll go slow, but guys, the others, Vitalson and co, they start by telling him, no mate, it will not work, speed up mate, the accelerate pedal is on the right. Maybe you were pressing the brake the whole time, that's why it didn't quite work, as we are being shown here. Press the accelerator for Efkin's sake, so to speak. Vitalson himself is impressed by the other driver who he talks about in his crew, the guy who we will see a little bit further in this video, who is driving a newer version of Lada Niva, which apparently is stock version with automatic transmission, other than I think it's a bit lifted up and has different tires. We're going to see it shortly, where we have the proof that in the off-road, kind of in the true brutal off-road, of course a lot depends on the vehicle, but even more so depends on the driver. So Vitalson kind of here suggests that Niva has done better than this Jeep Wrangler, but that's only a preview for you, my friends. Finally, we can see here our friend Dmitry, who managed to speed up and get his Wrangler up the top of the hill. But having seen the rest of this video, I'm going to spoil a little bit further for you, my friends, and say that this wasn't actually a very impressive ascent. Yeah, it's a manual transmission Wrangler, and he apparently used the third gear to climb this hill, and now the challenge is to drag him out of the snow, as it sunk into it and just couldn't move. But before that happens, before others assisted Dmitry with it and his Jeep Wrangler, he decided to try and position himself a bit better by pulling himself to the closest tree with the built-in pulley. Don't ask me why, maybe it's a better platform to pull the car then back from, you know, I don't know, and I frankly don't care. I just like watching these crazy dudes, honestly. So here we go, another Niva, later model, as I promised to you, than the classic boxy one that you might have seen in Australia, I don't know, a couple of decades ago. This one has automatic transmission, and my guess is that it climbs much better because it's much lighter than Jeep Wrangler that we just saw. Can't compare obviously one-to-one here. Next, we have a very interesting vehicle that my English-speaking audience may or may not have ever seen on your YouTube screens. This, my friends, is known as Russian UAZ. It's a military vehicle that was sold to civilians at some point in, you know, the past, don't know, decade or so. Once it has served its years in the army, then being sold to civilians, kind of similar to what Australian army does sometimes on the sellouts of the old vehicles. Basically, it's known as one of the most uncomfortable but also rather unkillable off-road vehicles that became extremely popular as budget vehicles of this kind among Russian farmers. And basically anyone who couldn't afford, say, a Jeep Wrangler or something more civilized and more modern of a similar type of a vehicle on a hard 4x4 frame. My grandfather had one, seriously.
owned it privately, of course. It was impossible to drive, and it required full strength of arms, as there is no hydraulics by default, kind of stock in these cars, no electric motors that are powering your steering. Most horrible way to switch the gears manually, and you would have to do the double clutch kind of move. You had to press the clutch twice before you could switch anything, and all that fun nightmare that my fellow drivers who are over 40 years old would probably and hopefully be right now smiling too and nodding their heads like, yeah, Dmitry, we all had our own memories of something similar to this, perhaps not on Russian UAZ, but on something similar from where you are from. Now is your chance to culturally connect with me, my friends. Keep politics out of it, of course. I hope I don't have to say it by now. And tell me in the comments down below what your experience with vehicles similar to this is like, if you had any, of course. We also are shown here an Audi. I think it's an Audi A8, maybe, from what I see. I can't tell what it is, but you can just correct me in the comments down below if you can. Audi will be shown a little bit later in this video as well. Not like it does a particularly amazing job from what I can see. Mitsubishi Pajero, though, seems to have performed really, really well, climbing the snow hill with zero issues, and much better than some other cars of the similar type of style and kind of just class. Yeah, class. These guys are actually praising the off-road capabilities of Pajero for what it's worth. Take note. This particular Pajero is 3.2 diesel engine, and it climbs evidently like a champion. Everyone is really surprised, like open eyes, wide open eyes. We have a dude here admitting that he really didn't expect this. We have also the boxy old model of Nissan Patrol. I'm not sure which model that is. It does pretty well for itself, a very strong performance. They also kind of complement the driver. Turns out that this driver, he had an assistant there in the car who was kind of guiding him, but this was his first car bought for off-road specifically, and this was his first off-roading experience, so we kind of have to congratulate him on this rather impressive performance, and it looks like they had a lot of fun, which is the most important thing. Here we have finally the centerpiece of the whole show, my friends, the real freaking monster, Dodge Ram. So this is a 5.7 liter engine with a rear wheel drive, and let's take a look at how the Ram owner here says, you know, how he's gonna approach it, and he says that he will go slow because everyone can do it if they just speed up and fly up. Hard to disagree. Vitalson here says, well, what the actual hell are we witnessing here? Because it goes so smoothly and seemingly so easily through this terrain, as if they put asphalt under that snow while they were not looking. Now they are pushing this Dodge Ram onto a different track. They're saying, okay, well, it climbed this hill, we have a harder one. These guys are speculating what and how this Ram will be able to do this particular hill, perhaps the next one, so easily. They talk to the Ram owner here, telling him that Patrol did very well. Can you beat the Patrol? Can you do it better? But he's such a chill dude. He's like, oh yeah, it's cool. I'll go slow again at first and we will see. I really like him. And it's like nothing again. They are like, mate, you're driving like you're completely just not even trying, dude. And everyone is like, but he has a massively longer wheelbase and it helps him, and maybe it does. And here is just a tiniest little, but just for funsies, injection. They say, oh look, Nicolas Cage arrived in his Niva. And yeah, I guess when the guy gets out of Niva, I guess you have to agree that he does look a tiny bit like Nicolas Cage. I guess he does. And they ask him, man, you were supposed to be here much earlier. Must be one of their friends. And he says, oh, would you like an honest answer why I'm not here earlier, why I'm late? They're like, yep. He says, Niva didn't start this morning. It took a while. And here we have one poor Niva hitting actually something under the snow. And they're like, looks like your frontal diff lock is busted, as the front wheel apparently wasn't turning when they were looking. But then as they start slowly and steadily kind of rocking and pulling it out, at first by hand and then with the help of other vehicles, it does look like it's all turning and it all seems fine. And they even sort of comment saying, well, Rest assured, dear viewers, that no Nivas were hurt during filming of this part. Of course, when RAM, once again front and center of our screens, when it sort of finishes moving and when it stops in the snow with all its incredibly massive, you know, weight kind of category, it's quite heavy, so it sinks a little bit, and it needs to, if it wants to keep moving again, especially uphill, it obviously needs to reverse a little bit to gain a bit of momentum, to gain a bit of speed, to start moving again. But once it is moving, it is an absolute, I think you would agree with me, absolute real beast that just will not stop. In fact, the original Vettelsson's video, which I did not want to one-to-one translate, I wanted to adapt it as I do here on this channel, so it's not just a dummy translation. In fact, he named his video saying, Dodge Ram humiliated everyone. Which is hard to disagree, especially if you look at it in the context of other vehicles trying to do their best, and then you're like, yep, I mean, if I had to be brutally honest, Dodge Ram humiliated everyone. It's a real beast. Audi, of course, once again shown to us, is a good, nice city car with some off-roading capabilities, admittedly, which, again, no one really expected to perform better than Dodge Ram or better than Nissan Patrol or anything super impressive from it. But I think we're still seeing here what I would call respectable performance, fitting in among all the big boys, as they would say. And here you go, my friends. Hopefully you enjoyed another crazy Russian off-road video from Vettelson. Please visit his channel. I am a big fan of his. I think that if you were watching again his original narrative, it is like, first of all, you need to understand language. Second of all, it's just mostly people are excitedly exclaiming this and that throughout the whole video. It's very hard to watch in terms of narrative. That's why I do my best adapting these videos. And if I'm doing a half-decent job, please give the video a like. That's your main way of telling me that you're interested in this and you're having fun watching with some context as well, because you can go and watch the original video. I'll link it in the description, but you will not have context, and sometimes a little bit of the fun, a little bit of that context is exactly what you need. At least I want to think that. If you enjoyed this, like I said, please give me a like, leave a comment. Maybe you are an avid off-road, or maybe you just enjoy these particular videos, and subscribe for more. More videos are coming to you every week, my friends. If you're new here, you're most welcome to our little club. Goodbye for now.